So guys, just some housekeeping stuff. We record this every single week. We're here every single week. This is our Freedom Day. This is our Freedom webinar. We do this every Thursday at 11 a.m. If I am here 98% of the time, the other 2%, for whatever reason, if I can't make it, someone will replace me and take the class over. Typically, it'll be my wife, who's my coaching partner, or one of our other coaches in the Freedom organization. Second thing is we're like 16 days away from our masterclass. So if you are interested in joining our masterclass, hey, Mike, can you put the link in the chat? I appreciate it, brother. If you're interested in joining our masterclass, sign up for the masterclass, please. There are only 10 seats left. It's a 30-person event. It's very close knit. It happens here in Miami. It's from April 19th through the 21st. We are, just to give you a breakdown of some of the stuff we're doing. And the crazy part is, as my wife and I are sitting down writing the syllabus for this, we are adding things as it happens. And the crazy part is that's how quick things are changing in branding and marketing and advertising and artificial intelligence, right? Like things are happening so quick right now that we're looking at what we created. We're like, oh my God, we got to add this. We got to add that. We got to do this. We got to do that. So we are, with the masterclass, the intention is to take you from the current brand that you have now and either adjust, enhance, or take it to the next level. And by the end of the 3 days, you should have ads running with videos that you created at the masterclass. We're going to have a videographer and photographer on so that he can take videos and pictures of you and get this kind of stuff going. We're going to teach you copyright. We're going to teach you the best types of copyright. We're going to teach you how to access the opportunity of AI. So we're going to show you step by step how to use artificial intelligence to take what you're trying to do and enhance it, right? So we're going to show you how to follow all the Meta rules and regulations, Meta being Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, right? We're going to show you how to use all those rules and regulations and tap them into your advertising, your branding, and how you're getting out there. And by the end of the third day, when you leave that Friday, because it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday class, when you leave that Friday, you should have 3 ads up and running, significant to you and your brand. Those ads going to landing pages that you created, that we helped you with. Those landing pages collecting information from buyer and sellers, right? And then that information being fed to you with email drip campaigns. Here's the crazy part. I'm going to show you how to create the email drip campaigns. I'm going to show you how to create the landing pages, but I already created them. So I have the capability of passing them to you, and then you're going to adjust them based on the brand that we created the days before, right? So it's a pretty amazing masterclass. So Carmen, yes, it is in person only right now. Only because I feel like this particular one is going to be very hands-on. I feel there's going to be a lot of times where I'm going to need to sit side by side with somebody and just really get into it with them. And so what we're doing simultaneously is we're creating an idea for a webinar. So we might take this and turn it into a webinar, but you know, it's hard to sit in front of a computer for long periods of time. So what we're thinking is, rather than the masterclass is going to be like hardcore 3 days, you know, we're going to put in the work together, right? But the webinar, we might do like hour and a half once a week for maybe 10 weeks or something like that. I really dig into what that would mean for you and your business, right? And I say 10 weeks because I wanted to go 16. My wife wanted to go 6. I'm trying to like meet her halfway. Happy wife, happy life, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, I'm going to focus on that. All right. And then some more good news. We just decided that we're going to do a Freedom Day in Central Florida. It's going to be a 1-day event in person, another in-person event. We might stream this one, but I would prefer to be in person. I just feel like when you come to these events, you make so many connections and relationships that it's unstoppable, right? So that event, we're going to make it significantly affordable, probably like $25 to come to the event. Like, honestly, we've got sponsors lined up that really want to be a part of it and they want to meet you guys. So We're going to make it beneficial for them, but we're going to make it extremely beneficial for you. We're going to do one-day event. We're going to go crazy. We're going to have fun on the stage. I'm going to bring some guest speakers in, and we're really going to focus on helping you expand your business. So that's some good news. That's news to follow. I'm giving you, like, because you're on my webinar, you get like this preemptive information that hasn't even been posted anywhere yet, because I have no idea where we're doing it. I just know it's going to be in Central Florida. I have no location. I have no schedule. I have no pricing. I have no website. There's nothing built yet, but I'm giving you this preemptively because I believe it'll be somewhere around June 22nd. I like doing these events on a Thursday because people like to come to Orlando and then they like do the event on Thursday and then they hang out with their families Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So we try to do them on Thursdays. It always works out that way. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. So let's get into what we're doing today. So first thing we do every time we get on these webinars is we go right into the chat box and we type out, "It's a Freedom Day." And I appreciate you guys jumping in there and typing it out. There's a reason behind this. First of all, we type it out because we want you guys to have the euphoria of understanding why you're here. It's a Freedom Day. Lets you know that today, whatever you pull away from today will continue to help you build the freedom that it is that you're looking for. I named my company the Freedom Organization because I truly believe that each and every one of us is in search of freedom. That's why we're entrepreneurs. There's no one on this Zoom, because I focus on real estate professionals. So there's no one on this Zoom that is an employee. You do not work for anybody. If your license is hanging with a company, it is because you have decided as an independent contractor in a personal business to align yourself with somebody. But it does not mean you work for them, right? You are a business. You are a business, right? You, this person right here, this is the brand, this is the business. Without you, your business doesn't move. My goal over time with this company and the webinars that we're doing here is to help you grow a business that moves without you. That's crazy, right? And a lot of real estate professionals don't think that way because they believe that they are the face of the business forever. And if they leave the business, then real estate will not sell. That's just not simply the truth. You can continue to have real estate business for a very long time. That's why there are companies that have been around for 100 years. I promise you, the guy that invented a company that's been around for 100 years is probably no longer around. You guys agree with me? Type yes in the chat box if you agree. Type yes in the chat box. We got to get this interactive, ladies and gentlemen. Sweet. All right, so we're on the same page. So last week I'm in Vegas, and I got invited to speak on stage. And crazy part is I show up. It's a good friend of mine, Sam Chauhan. He runs a summit called the Mindset Summit, right? And by the way, the Mindset Summit's coming to Dallas. The Mindset Summit's coming to Austin. The Mindset Summit's coming to Virginia, Tampa, Miami, and I believe Orlando all this year. And I'll be participating in many of these events, but the Mindset Summit is pretty amazing, okay? And so what he does, Sam is a professional mindset shifter, right? And so when you hear this, he works with professional athletes, tennis players, football players. You know, when somebody gets in a funk and they're not playing the way that they used to, he is an expert in getting them out of their own way and shifting them to get playing again, to do the things necessary to get hype again about their lives and their business and their sport and everything else. So he shifted a lot of that to real estate professionals as well. And so this Mindset Summit was pretty interesting because there were 300 people in the room. And the 300 people that were in the room were invite only, which is pretty insane, right? Because I do an event and I want to have like 500, 600, 700, 800 people there. And I'm like, everybody come, please. This guy did invite only event, right? Average person in the room, 10 years experience, average, 100 deals a year, average. How crazy is that, right? And they were coming from Texas, they were coming from California, they were coming from Nevada, there were some folks from Idaho. It was really interesting to sit in this room. Well, the interesting part was Sam tells me, Dave, come out and speak, do your thing on the stage. We'd love to have you, 30, 45 minutes. When I get there though, Sam goes, Dave, how would you like to interview some of these agents on stage? I said, that'd be fantastic. I ended up interviewing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people back to back on stage. I went from 30 minutes on stage to 3.5 hours on stage. It was the most insane thing, right? So needless to say, I was not warned that it would be 3.5 hours. I should have used the bathroom before I went on stage. I didn't. About 2 hours in, I was dying. I was floating in my seat, but you know what? I got through it. I got it done. And it was very exciting because what the exciting part was I love coaching. This gig right here that we're doing right now, this is my passion. I love doing this, right? And so, and I love doing it because I love to see people enhanced. And when you're sitting in a room with people who are very enhanced, right? Invite only, average 100 deals a year in the room, right? You start thinking to yourself, what the fuck am I going to tell these people, right? And then so as we're interviewing the folks that are coming on the stage, first person comes on stage, 35-year veteran, top producing realtor in Orange County, owner of a top mortgage banking firm. His name is Chris Sorensen, right? So now Chris is the youngest mayor in the history of his city, right? For the last 13 years. And he is the senior vice president of retail production for PRMG, which is a mortgage company, right? And I think it's Paramount Mortgage Group or something like that. And he created a state-funded system called HELP. So this is home ownership education learning program. Here's the crazy part, right? Like the pull that this guy has. He creates this system. It's a state-funded system to educate consumers about pre-recession, current recession, and post-recession home ownership, right? And then not only that, but he authors Financial Sense to White Picket Fence, right? Which is a book. This book is turned into a course. It's now taught in 110 California community colleges. Insanity, right? So this is a guy like sits in front of me and we're talking. First question I ask him is, what are some of the most effective marketing strategies you're using to generate leads and close deals? And he looks at me and guys, I swear you can't make this shit up, right? This is a guy that does so much business and the people that are in his company make so much business. And he looks at me and I said, what are some of the most effective marketing strategies that you use to generate leads and close deals? And he looks at me and goes, David. And he reaches in his pocket and he goes, my phone. And that was the extent of his answer. I had to pull more out of him because we started speaking, and in the conversation, I said, okay, I'm with you. I understand, because when I coach, if you guys have come to my coaching, I'm often dogging you guys out for not picking up the phone, for not calling the people on this database that you have called your contact list, right? And he said to me, he said, over 35 years of business, there are so many people in my phone that I can do business with. And if I don't call them and tell them that I'm doing this, none of what I've created, none of what I've done, none of the courses that are being taught in my name, my book, my state-funded program, mayor of the city, none of that matters. None of it matters because no one is going to know if I don't tell them. And that was such an impressive answer because it was honest. Because he could have gone up there and started talking about, I'm sure, factual shit. I'm sure that he is doing online branding, that he is doing Facebook branding, that he is doing Instagram branding, that he is doing Google branding, I'm sure of it. I mean, there aren't many people that don't know who PRMG Mortgage is, right? Shit, some of us probably have a loan from them right now, you know? And as I'm looking at this, we start digging in even further. I said, okay, how do you stay in contact with the people on your phone? And he said, David, and he said, David, I just simply once a month make sure to dial in to every single person on my phone. Now, he said he does this a couple of different ways, right? So one of the ways that he does is that he has a systemization for his sphere of influence. So what do I mean by that? He has his sphere of influence in a bucket. And in that bucket gets emails, text messages, and voicemail drops every single month. So things that he doesn't have to do, right? Constant automation, right? Hey, Michael, can you put the link for Frogman follow-up in the thing? This is a great system that you can use today. It's not the system that he uses, but it's a very similar system that I use, right? So he takes this and I go, okay, how do you manage your time? Because now I'm like, all right, brother, you know, that's a lot of phone calls. If I have 4,000 plus people in my cell phone, and I've only been in the industry 18 years, right? He's been in the industry 35 years. He's got to have significantly more phone numbers than I do, right? I didn't even ask how many he has. But I said to him, I said, okay, cool. Now you've done that, right? How do you manage your time and prioritize tasks to ensure you stay productive and achieve your goals? His answer, very similar to some of the stuff we're doing. Hey, Michael, get that link up there for Frogman follow-up, please.
Yeah, looking great.
Thank you. No, it's just frogmanfollowup.com. I just don't want to stop to type it. Thank you, brother. So when I asked him how he manages his time to prioritize tasks and ensure he stays productive, he said something crazy simple, right? He said, you have 2 activities that you do every day. One is money, and 2 is not. Simple as that. This is his answer. He said, 1 is money-making activity. The second one is not. Simple, right? Now, he said, the not money-making activity doesn't mean it's not important. If I'm hanging out with my kids at their volleyball game, that's not a money-making activity, right? However, it's important. So he said, just because it's not a money-making activity doesn't mean it's not important. But here's where he prioritizes. He says, I take the money-making activities and they are all completed in a time frame called AM. What does that mean? That means that he prioritizes his day and his time by taking all his money-making activities, the shit that really matters, the contacts, the communications, the transfers of money, things like that, the stuff that is going to put money in your bank account. He does it before noon, right? And then I said, okay, so I said, look, and this is me on stage. I said, listen, maybe I do some crazy, but I host a team meeting with my team once a week on Tuesday morning. Do you think that's a money-making activity? His answer to me, no. He said, but it doesn't make it any less important, right? Now I'm going to take advice from a guy that's been in the business for 35 years, a freaking mayor of his city, wrote 2 programs, wrote a book, you know, senior VP of an entire company, right? A national company, by the way, not just like local to Nevada, right? And I said, why? And he said something that I love. Meetings are money killers. He said, meetings are money killers. He said, the more meetings you have with your staff, the less money they're out there making. He said, if you have to have meetings with your team once a week, he said to me, you make them purposeful. So what does that mean? He said, if you have to put a money-making activity in your, a non-money-making activity, right, in your AM, right, what you need to do is make sure somebody's unmuted. Let's go ahead and mute everybody. Hold on. All right. So he said, if you have to put a money-making activity in your AM, he said, make sure you simply get to the point. So if your assistant or one of your team members or somebody calls you in the AM and it has nothing to do with the money coming to your bank account or will never help any additional money hit your bank account, get to the point. And what he said was, most meetings take an hour, hour and a half. Why do meetings take an hour and a half? Because it's just a lot of talk. people catching up with bullshit, looking at puppies and shit like that, right? Like just, people talking about things that really don't need to be spoken about at a meeting. He said, have an agenda and have the meeting. So I said to him, that's great that you said that, because my team meetings typically last 20 to 30 minutes and we have an agenda. And he goes, it's perfect. You got to the point, everybody gets back to work, right? So what the point that I'm really trying to jive on is money in the morning. So I asked him to elaborate on that just a little bit more. I said, why in the morning? He said, well, first of all, this is when you have the most energy, right? You wake up in the morning, you've got the most energy. The world has not crumbled on your lap yet. By the afternoon, 10 million freaking problems showed up. 10 million things are trying to blow up your world. You got 3 deals falling apart. 2 deals are winning, this and that. He goes, you get to that in the afternoon. You put out fires in the afternoon. He said, you keep the money alive in the afternoon, but in the morning, you have the most energy. And in the morning, if you have the most energy in the morning, that's where you want to put it into money-making activity. You do not want to attempt to do money-making activities tired, exhausted, in a bad mood, shifted and changed. Do them in the morning. So I got deep into him. I said, what's your morning routine? I have a specific morning routine that keeps me hyper like this all the time, right? So I said, what's yours? He said he's up at 4:30 a.m. Let's see if I can make this a little better. He's up at 4:30 a.m. This is crazy how vivid I remember this conversation. It was one of my favorite ones. I interviewed 12 people. This was one of my favorite conversations on stage, right? I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm gonna make it bigger. He's up at 4:30 a.m. and between 4:30 and 9 a.m. he goes to the gym, runs, eats, kids. So when I say kids, he has his routine with his kids. I think he has breakfast with them and stuff like that before they head out to school, right? So he's doing this in the morning. This is purposeful for him. And then he said from 9 a.m. to 12, it's all money-making activities. I said, what are those money-making activities? He said to me, calls, new business, follow-ups, referrals. And he said something that I love and I enjoy, and I often say it. He said, real estate professionals often forget they're in the sales business. Real estate professionals like to run around saying they're influencers and all this other stuff, right? Social media has changed the way that we present ourselves as pros. This is okay, as long as you remember that you, as a real estate pro, are in sales and marketing. The day that you forget that is the day that you die out in this business. When you do your trainings, the majority of your training should be focused on sales, marketing. Dave, what about systems and tech? And listen, I am a tech geek, okay? I'm not the perfect guy, but I'm the guy who pays 10 grand for 16-week courses to learn how to use AI. I'm that guy, right? And then I commit to these classes like weekly at night, like exhausted, but I'm all in, right? And so I said, what about systems and tech? And he said, if the systems and tech do not support your marketing or your sales, you leverage them. Right? And now, so he said, as you grow in your business, in the beginning of your business, you're the do all, know all. There's no way around it, right? You can't afford to hire a great big staff. So you're the do all, know all, right? And he said, we read book after book that says your first hire as a real estate professional or a salesperson or a business person or a marketing person, your first hire should always be an assistant. Problem is that most real estate professionals get kind of busy, and the first thing they do is hire a buyer's agent or something, and they do some funky split with this buyer's agent, and then they go that direction. But the truth is, this is your most important hire. The reason that this is your most important hire is because you are the brand. And up until this day that you hire your assistant, you have done everything. You have lead generated, you have set up systems, you have created funnels, you have created email blast campaigns, you have created weekly, emails that go out like newsletters. You're doing all this stuff. You're creating all this stuff. And he said, at some point, a lot of this has to become leveraged. And so when you hire your assistant as your first person, they can take over things like emails. Here's the crazy part. I'm not there yet. And maybe it's a control thing for me. But there are folks out there who have already trained their assistant so well that every email they receive gets copied to their assistant automatically. And their assistant categorizes the emails and is capable of responding to the majority of them. Because if you think about the majority of the emails that you get, 60% of them right now are trash, right? Trying to sell you something, right? So you go, what's the first thing you do when you open your email? You click a bunch of things and then you delete, right? And then you leave what's left, and then you start going through the important emails. And a lot of the emails that you receive are requesting something or asking something of you. Hey, can you update this sheet? Hey, I need this from your buyer or seller. Hey, your seller needs some wire information. Can you make sure that gets done, right? And so what are you doing? You're just catching and throwing, catching and throwing, catching and throwing. But when your assistant is well trained and they can take that over, can you imagine how many emails you will no longer have to tend to? Because a great assistant can read your email and go, I can send this information. I have access to it. I can get this information from this buyer because I can reach out to the buyer and get it, right? They can handle all of that stuff and respond on your behalf. Craziest thing. How beautiful is that, right? And so once you have that squared away, they can handle all your marketing. They can handle, most of the time, appointment setting. Notice I didn't say your sales calls. I said appointment setting. Because as a coach, I'm a big believer that we are the salespeople. We are sales and marketing, right? And so although they can handle the marketing, when I say they handle the marketing, it's not that they create your brand. You do that. It's not that they create your content. You do that. It's that they know how to prepare it and deliver it, whether it be through Google PPC campaigns, Facebook ads, regular posts on social media and Instagram or anything else, LinkedIn, your YouTube videos, right? You could create the video. Like this morning, I created 3 videos. I shot them to my assistant. Michael's going to flip and convert those videos for me. He shoots them back to me. I post them. Simple as that, right? So what did I do? I just alleviated at least a couple hours of video editing from my table, right? And here's the crazy part. Together, we worked on what to use. We use Canva. I'm sorry, not Canva. Michael, what's the name of the thing that we use for video editing?
CapCut.
CapCut, yes. I love this software. There is a desktop version and there is an app. CapCut is super dope. Download this on your phone. You could create a video. It'll create automated captions for you. You can put pictures on your videos. You can cut, you can edit, you can create transitions all from your phone. It's really super simple and easy to use. It's like, I hate to say this word, but it's dummy proof, right? It's super easy to use, 5-year-old status, okay? And which is tough to say right now because most 5-year-olds know how to use technology than the majority of us, right? So CapCut is one of my favorite video editing tools, right? If you bring on the assistant, they can handle doing all that editing. How crazy is it that I love this software so much that I forgot the name of it? That's what I want from you guys. I look at my team every Tuesday and I go, guys, the only thing I want is for each and every one of you to make an incredible income and help me forget how to log into the MLS. That's all I want from you. That's all I want from you. Help me help you create an incredible income and help me forget how to log into the MLS. That should be all our goals. Build the business so beautiful you never log into the MLS again. Whether that means that you've done an amazing business and invested elsewhere or vice versa. All right, so I get on the stage with Chris Garza. Chris Garza started a company called American Funding in 2013. He's the divisional SVP. He covers Nevada, Northern California, Arizona, and parts of Texas. Been originating loans since 2001, right? He's been through everything. So I said, what are some of the ways that you have handled the changes that have happened in today's industry, right? We all see the changes. We all see what's happening. There's interest rates changing. There's housing prices are changing. Depending on where you are in the country, some house prices are coming down. Some are staying steady. Some are strong. Some are weak, right? I just had a conversation the other day with somebody on the phone. They said that their average price point went from $350 to $250, right? Which is insane because I live in South Florida and we haven't budged. So it really depends where you are in the country, what's happening with your environment, what's happening with your market. And what he said to me was so simple. He said, we have seen these changes happen before. Again, he's been in the industry since 2001, right? He said, we've seen these changes happen before. And what we have seen is that the agents that continue to put in the work, not the fake work, not the posting every day and hoping somebody calls you, but the work, picking up the phone, calling people, knocking on doors, sending postcard mailers, doing all that stuff. Like, look, postcard mailers, some people love them, some people don't. Why? Because you yourself, when you get mail, you separate the shit you need to read from the shit you don't need to read, and then you throw that pile away, right? But here's the crazy part. Very similar to an email that gets deleted right away, because I believe in mass email. I believe in email. I love email. I will email the shit out of you if you register on my stuff. I'm just letting you know, right? And so every email that I sent has content. It's not garbage. It's content. It's well thought out stuff, right? And so when it comes to you, whether you read it or not, you still read my name to decide whether or not you wanted to delete it or not. You still saw David Adam Kurz Freedom Organization. I want them to see you, right? Like Kurt Bonds, real estate agent, right? Jeff and Amanda Bray, your Sarasota agents, right? I want the folks to be able to see that consistently. Same thing with mailers, right? So there's a story, they did a study in a neighborhood. I don't know if you guys heard the story before, but they did a study in a neighborhood where they went and door knocked the entire neighborhood and they asked, who is the number one real estate professional in your market? And when they finished door knocking these like 100, 150 doors, whatever it was one community, right? They had a plethora of names. Like there was names of all different agents from all different, sizes, different areas, everything, right? And then they did a study. They did for 8 weeks. They sent out postcards every week to this community. Every single week, they sent out postcards to this community, right? And then on the 9th week, they went back to the same community and they knocked on every door and they asked who the number one real estate agent in an area. And the 90% of the homes mentioned the realtor on those postcards. Here's the crazy part. The realtor on the postcard was a made up person. It was a stock photo with a made up name, email address, phone number, everything was fake. But so the fact was that no one had ever met this person, right? Because she was fake. But this 8x8 campaign led to people believing that that was the person they needed to reach for their community. So what do you think that could do to your business, right? Let's say you had the email database for that community. Let's say you emailed that community at least once a week. they receive the postcard from you once a week, and you're running Facebook ad campaigns to that neighborhood, and you go door knocking in that neighborhood to talk to them and see how they're doing. And you get to know them. And you walk your dogs in that neighborhood on a daily basis, and you do your power walks through that neighborhood on a daily basis. And you don't stay to yourself, because when somebody passes by, you go, hello, how are you? And you wear a t-shirt that says, I am your realtor on the back, with your company logo proud on your chest. That's how you dominate, but people don't want to do the work. And so what Chris was basically saying was, if we can continue to build, so Kurt, community email database, I'm interested. So honestly, they're very difficult to get. If you have an in with the community association, you could probably get it, right? If you don't have an in, the toughest way to get it, which is the easiest way to get it, is to get people to register for an event in the community. So what our team has done in the past is we will choose a community, and we will door knock the community, and we will let them know that we're having a market event at the end of the month. And so if they would like to attend the event, they could give us their name, email address, and phone number, and we'll send them information to register for the event. And so at the end of the month, we keep our word. We have an event that is a marketing event. We talk about the community, and then we talk about surrounding communities, and then we talk about the city in general. And we let them know what's happening with the housing market in their area. And so folks like to go to an event like this, and you could actually, if the community that you choose has a community center, right? You could request to use the community center, let them know that you're coming of value, you're coming from contribution, you're not there to sell anything. And should they choose to use you, great. If they don't, that's fine too, right? But you're there to give value, confirmation, community. You're building yourself in the community, so people are going to want to use you because you're the only one doing it. And if you did that once a quarter there, you would be able to collect an abundant amount of emails, phone numbers, and names for the people in the community. And you'll get to meet them in person. You shake their hand at the door. You get to know their kids, right? You wave at little Johnny in the back while he's throwing things on the wall, and then you have this community outreach. Everybody gets together. Everybody sees each other. How you doing, guys? My name's David Kurz, and I'm going to talk to you about the market today. I brought a lender with me. I brought a title representative with me. We're all here to be able to help you understand what's happening in today's market, and let you know what's happening in your community with your home values, right? Here's an added bonus, something you could do, Kurt. If you do this as an added bonus, you could have a folder for everyone that registers for the event. And in that folder, because you knocked on their door and invited them, right? And you keep a database of everyone's name, email address, phone number, and address. In that folder, you could have a comparable analysis for their particular home. So when they come to the door and you have whoever's helping you register people at the door, they'll say, John Smith, 123 Main Street. Okay, yeah, sure. Here, hold on 1 second. Here you go, John, this folder is specific for you. John Smith opens it up. John and Jane Smith look at it. It's a comparable analysis of their particular home, along with your information, along with some marketing material, and they're there to learn what's happening in the market. Before they even sit down, though, they go, look, babe, our house is worth $550. That's crazy. We bought for $300 3 years ago. How's that possible? We should sell and move to Atlanta the way we wanted to. Right? Craziest shit goes through people's heads. Every time my wife shows me the value of my house, I get closer to Puerto Rico. Every time. Right? Every time. I told her, I said, listen, babe, when it hits this number, we're out. She's like, what about the kids' school? We'll homeschool them. I don't give a shit. Let's go. Right? So ideally, what you're doing is you're communicating with the community. You're building yourself in the community. And the crazy part is you do this 2 quarters, right? 6 months, 2 quarters. Every month you go out there and make sure you hit every door. Every month you go out there and give something of value. And then every quarter you hold that meeting to let them know it's Q2 2023, this is what's happening in your market. If you do that for 2 quarters, there will not be a real estate agent that could compete with you in that area. Just won't happen. The HOA is going to love you. The community is going to love you. The neighbors are going to love you. By the way, this takes more than just what I just said. It takes going for jobs in that neighborhood. It takes walking your dog in that neighborhood, right? One of the most impressive real estate agents out of Atlanta. She is a super high level luxury agent. And the way that she got into it was she ended up getting divorced, like right when her baby was born. And she said, I got to step up my real estate game. And she put the baby in the stroller. She drove to the community she wanted to sell. She didn't live in there. She drove to the community she wanted to sell. She put her baby in that carriage every single day. And she went jogging in that neighborhood every day. And every day she went, hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Hello. And she wore her jacket with the company name on the back, right? Jeff knows who she is, Glenda, you're right, right? And over time, something happened. So when she was door knocking, somebody opened the door and they said, hey, aren't you the one that runs with the baby every day? Yeah, that's me. Oh, yeah, I'm always out for a run. We wave at each other often. Yeah, I remember you. I'm Dave. I'm John. Blah, blah, blah. I'm Glenda, right? And instant relationship because they see each other so much. You know, we've been thinking about selling our house. Every time I see your jacket running by, I want to talk to you, but we're out for a run, which is why the door knocking is important, which is why the events are important, right? And so he's, come on in. Like, there's no this lady just jogs in the neighborhood. But come on in, have a seat with us. This is my wife. Let's talk about selling my house. And that's how she tapped into that neighborhood. Millions and millions and millions of dollars sold. Insanity. Simply by following this simple technique. And then I go back to the problem. The problem is real estate agents are trying to find an easy way out. Real estate agents want to do TikToks and Instagram videos and social media stuff. And I am 100% not against that. I love that shit. I just think that it's a added benefit to the work that you do. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? It's like the nail with the hammer. You know what I mean? You could take a hammer and you can do a lot of stuff with it without the nail. The nail is just an added tool that'll hold things together. So if I go do all of that and I have a tremendous social media following and I have a great email campaign going out and I've automated my communication with my sphere of influence and my past clients, and I've got great landing pages and great email campaigns and great ways to collect information, fired up. I'm fired up, right? Now I want to show you guys something. I'm going to task you guys. I want you guys to try to create an ad on social media. And I'm not going to go through how to create this ad right now, but this is kind of stuff. What's that? I thought somebody said something. All right. This is the kind of stuff that we're going to be covering at the masterclass. And we only have like 12 minutes left to this class. So I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to show you something, right? First thing I want you to do is I want you to create an ad to a specific neighborhood. And in that specific neighborhood, I want you to say simply this, okay? I'm going to type it in the chat box. This is what I want you to type for the ad. I want you to type, how would you like to know how to get more money for your home when you sell it? Click below and download my ebook for free on how to prepare your home for sale and get top dollar. Here's the crazy part with this, right? Did you say, I'm a realtor, hire me? No. Did you say 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, $500,000? Boo, look at me. No, you didn't. You said, what can I give you? How can I help you? How can I serve you? Right? And so one of the ways that you can serve your community is by giving them consistent information, right? I do it all the time. Almost every one of my reels is a coaching thing, right? Because I want coaching clients. This is the way it is, right? Be a resource, Adriana says. Awesome. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And I'm going to show you a very simple way, because I'm sure that almost none of you, maybe one of you, has a way or has an ebook of that sense, right? So here's the crazy part. I'm going to come to ChatGPT and I'm going to go create a table of contents for an ebook I will give away for free on Meta. The subject of the ebook will be how to prepare your home for sale and get top dollar for it. Please keep, oh, sorry, I said please like I'm talking to a person. Keep the ebook to 4 simple chapters. Make it fun and enlightening and educational for the home owner and seller. Just watch as this genius happens. This is it, guys. You like, listen, I just made a video this morning. And basically I said, so many people out there talking about how AI is going to take over businesses. And it's not true. The people using AI are going to take over, right? The people utilizing these tools to step up their game, step up their business, they're the ones who are going to take over. Again, this is a tool. Use it to take advantage of what's happening out there in the market, right? So we got introduction. Welcome to your home selling journey, right? Chapter 1, the art of home staging. Chapter 2, essential repairs and upgrades. Chapter 3, marketing your home like a pro. And chapter 4, navigating the home selling process. Now, you could take some of this stuff out, like navigating the home selling process, because maybe you want to do it. Or maybe you want to leave that in there so when they read it, they go, oh, that looks like hard work. I'm going to hire this guy, Kurt, who sent me this for free, right? Here's the best part. Write an 800, wait, let's do 500 word chapter for, it's the introduction, so I'm going to keep it at 300. Write a 300 word chapter for number 1. Number 1 is the introduction, right? I didn't have to go through all that. Chapter 1, the art of home staging. Oh, wait. Yeah, so it's thinking chapter 1, right? So I can change this. I can stop generating because chapter 1 is going to have a little more information. So I could say, write a 800 word chapter for 1. Now, this is going to do it for you. This is going to create the book for you. From here, while that's typing, you can have another screen open with Canva, creating your cover to your cool little ebook. You take all this information, you copy and paste it, you put it inside of a Google Doc, you space it out, you make it pretty, you put some pictures in there if you want to. I like using Canva, and I like using Canva Docs because I can create photos, I can put stuff in there. It makes it very easy to use. Just copy and paste all this information in there. And now I've got an ebook that I can give away for free. But here's the thing. Before they can receive the ebook for free, they have to put their name, phone number, and email address. And then they get the book for free as a PDF. Do you think that somebody that downloads this book is potentially interested in selling their house? Yes or no? Type it in the chat box, right? Like super simple stuff, okay? Super simple stuff. If you think, right? If you think somebody's downloading a book that they're not interested in, you're nuts, right? No one here goes to Amazon and buys a book they don't care about, right? All my books are about business and marketing and coaching, right? That's what I love, right? Everything I have in my house. I don't have sci-fi stuff. Like, I just don't care about that. I'd rather keep sci-fi to the movie screen, right? So for me, That's what I love. So if somebody's interested in selling their house, they're probably going to click on this ad. And they're probably going to go ahead and request this information, right? Here's a crazy part. If you don't like the content that I wrote for that ad, let's just stop generating for now. I'm going to say, write a meta ad, right? Let me open up my chat box because I can't see it when I'm sharing my page. Somebody give me their favorite superhero. Who's your favorite superhero? Give me the first one that comes up, I'm gonna use them. Wonder Woman. All right, Kay, you win. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go write a meta ad for a free ebook giveaway for home sellers looking to maximize on the amount of money they can sell their house for. Write it in the style of Wonder Woman. Use her voice in the process of writing the ad. Stay within the housing rules and regulations for ads on Meta. Come on, guys. Come on, Kay. Attention, home selling heroes. Are you ready to embark in an epic adventure to conquer the real
I
estate
love it. I love it. I love it.
home value? Come on. Come on. Somebody reads this like we might think it's corny. Some of us think it's super cool. I promise you, somebody out there is going to love the hell out of this, right? Here's the best part is when you're in Canva creating your cover to this photo, you can have Wonder Woman holding a house or something, right? You could create this shit, right? And then, of course, your picture, your name, your contact information needs to be on there as well. Otherwise, it's useless, right? Look at this. Navigating the realm of marketing with confidence and crafting a listing that shines like the lasso of truth. Come on, guys. It doesn't get better than this, right? Yesterday, I did one in the style of Superman. Superman's my favorite hero, right? And so it's insanity, the things that you can do with AI and creating marketing items, all right? So I'm going to leave you off at this. A lot of stuff that we talked about today was me getting in front of some really, really high level top producing agents on the West Coast of this country and talking to them about what they expect to do in the change. And it was interesting to talk to them because many of us, I know a lot of folks in here in Florida, many of us that are in here, Florida, Texas, certain states, Virginia, we're not really seeing the same shift that California is seeing, right? And so it was interesting to hear their concept on what's happening and what's going on and what they imagine to be truth, right? And they all said the same thing, but the key was get back to the basics. The basics is picking up your phone, communicating with people with one mission: to get in front of them, to get in front of them for the purpose of selling real estate, to get in front of them for the purpose of selling real estate. Everything else that you do is a must. The ads, the social media presence, the efforts, all that stuff, the stuff that we just went through with ChatGPT, it is all important, but they are tools. The important piece, get on this. Get on this. By the way, you could close your social media, you could close your Facebook, close your Instagram, shut down your LinkedIn, kill your YouTube, have zero online presence. This is truth. Have zero online presence, have no website, have no IDX feed to properties, have no chat GPT. You could have no computers. If you know how to pick up your phone and have a conversation and get in front of people, you will do business in this industry. Because we are in a particular industry. First of all, we're blessed. We sell an item that everybody wants or needs. We're not selling Tupperware, hair pieces, shampoo, right? That's not what we're doing. We sell houses. People want to be in a house. They want to own. Whether they believe that they can or not, it's completely up to you. It's you who educates them. By the way, I could create an ad, share it with everybody, and everyone could use the same exact content for the same exact ad, and we will all have a different sphere of influence that reads it. Just create it. Create it and get it out there. But more importantly than anything in the world, man, I challenge you guys. This market is shifting whether you like it or not. Inflation is happening whether you want it to or not. Interest rates will continue to rise whether you like it or not. I want you to sell record amounts of homes when interest rates are 13%. I know you can do it because you have this. And too many people are too lazy to pick it up and make a phone call. Notice at no point in this entire session did I say, send the text. Not once. All right, guys, I'm so happy you were here today. It's 12:01. I'm a minute past my efforts, and I appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday, 11 a.m. And sign up for the masterclass if you want to come down to Miami and check it out. And then stay tuned for the June event. It's going to be a little bit different, but stay tuned for the June event. It'll be fun. See you guys soon.